There is no such thing as absolute fretboard mastery, but there is a trick that I like to use that allows me to play a bit more freely on the fretboard. Okay, a lot of people will think about the neck in a vertical way, playing the pentatonic scale or whatever. What I want to teach you is how to play diagonally, because also people will play like horizontally, right? Either vertically or horizontally. I want to teach you how to play vertically, and we are going to use arpeggios for that. Okay, so we take like a 3-note per string pattern like this one, and then we're gonna like play that in different octaves like this. Okay, so as we are playing that in different octaves, we are moving across the neck in a diagonal form. Okay, so first thing you're gonna do is learn some arpeggios, some arpeggio shapes, major, minor, whatever. You're gonna learn these, and you're gonna learn how to play them in different octaves. Okay, different positions of the neck. When you do that, you can travel in a diagonal form. So let's see a practical example, and then you can understand what I'm trying to say. So that's basically it. You are essentially playing different arpeggio patterns on top of the chords that are being played in the harmony. Okay, so if we were to play on top of a C sharp minor, then we would take one of our arpeggio shapes. This one is a 2-note per string pattern for minor chords. So basically, you take that shape, which is this one, and then we can play that in different octaves and sound good on top of the C sharp minor chord, like this. That way you can play on top of the C sharp minor chord, and you make sense because you are playing the notes that are being played in the harmony. Okay, so that will just make you sound a little better. Of course, you can't just play the chords, the notes in the chord. You can't just do that because that's gonna sound boring. So you will incorporate a few notes here and there, like a few notes that are out of the chord, and that will make you sound a bit more spicy, I suppose. You can do the same thing for major chords. So if we take the same chord, C sharp minor, but make it a major with a 7, we get something like this. We can play on top of that. By incorporating a few specific notes like the major 7, we give the solo the vibe of the chord. Okay, that's basically how you do it. You can take shapes like patterns, like arpeggio patterns that you've learned, apply them on top of the chord if it's a minor or if it's a major, and then you can play diagonally across the neck. We basically learned how to play diagonally on the fretboard using arpeggio shapes that we learned. Okay, you can take any arpeggio shape, you could do anything, it's your choice, but the arpeggio needs to make sense on top of the chord that you are playing, because if you are octaving notes, you are playing them over and over again. If you are playing wrong notes over and over again, there's no way that's going to sound good. Okay, so you always need to think about the chords that are being played on the harmony. Okay, so it's a good practice to study the harmony a little bit before you actually play the solo, because then you're going to have an idea of what you are going to play. If you want to learn this concept or many other things and more in depth, you can check out my community. There is a link for it in the description. You can just click and you can join. Goodbye.